Greetings, DFG here, Gideonsflight. Hey guys, just want to take a moment just to share my thoughts around the passing of the great Muhammad Ali, as you see in the photo here. You know, first and foremost, like all of us, you know, it was a sad day, but not a sad day in the sense of you know, someone passing away, because people, as we know, pass away. It's part of life. People pass away every day, every second of the day. But Muhammad Ali was an individual, at least for me, I want to speak from my perspective, that was very significant in my life. As a young boy living in the inner cities of New Orleans, in a time, I guess, in the late 60s, when there wasn't a lot of positive things going on, you know, in the black community, well, in society as a whole in America. So I don't want to labor to the black community, because the black community was not a bad community growing up in, in that time. But there were a lot of social issues going on, as we all know, things that's related to, the black revolutionary, groups who were trying to force change by, as Malcolm X once said, by any means necessary. So it was a lot of action, a lot of activity, a lot of, hostility, and a lot of violence. And as a kid growing up in that environment, it was really kind of hard to see beyond all of the hostilities to see something positive. And that's where Muhammad Ali came into play, for me. As a kid. Didn't know much about Martin Luther King, didn't know much about Malcolm X, but all of the kids knew about, Muhammad Ali, someone who stood up for his beliefs, someone who understood the importance of, meaning what you say and being a man. And that's how I saw him, someone positive, a beautiful, handsome, articulate, witty, champion, to say the least. And in a time where that you didn't see that, on television. You didn't see that, in the newspapers. You didn't see that in any form or fashion, in the inner cities. You saw all the other activities, but you didn't see, that positive, inspiring male role model that meant so much to me and many, many other kids. And it's interesting. I was talking to a guy just yesterday, and he made a comment about when I spoke about the passing of Muhammad Ali. The only thing he could reference was, yeah, my dad hated him because he refused to go to Vietnam. And I said, how ironic. The one thing that I guess it's about 25, 26 years old, a 26-year-old made a comment that, for religious belief, he was, a conscientious objector. At 26 years old, think about that, a 26-year-old kid, a young man, I won't call him a kid, but a 26-year-old, simply stated that, I don't have any quarrels with any Viet Cong. And secondly, my problem is not with the Viet Cong, because I don't hear any of them calling me a nigger. And that was the only thing this guy could come up with, in terms of paying, tribute to such a great, role model and ambassador, not only for blacks and whites here in America, but an ambassador all over the world. And even with the Vietnam issues, it's interesting that John Kerry became senator and almost president of the United States, Secretary of State, and John Kerry led violent protests, or at least he was a part of violent protests, against the war in Vietnam, and nobody seemed to recall that. So, I don't know. It's a social issue, or it's an issue of convenience, if it's just, sometimes maybe just straight up bigotry. But all that to be said is that, I am proud to say that I had such a positive role model. I am proud to say that not only him, but Malcolm X as well, and same thing with Martin Luther King. I mean, people tend to forget that during the Montgomery bus boycott, Martin Luther King led that movement, and Martin Luther King was, guess how old? 26 years old. 26 when he led that Montgomery bus boycott. And same thing with Malcolm. Malcolm, when he was, a head minister, for the Nation of Islam, and later on, the African American Unity Organization, his own organization, once he realized that the black Muslims were not about Islam. They were about hatred and bigotry. He was, late 20s, early 30s. These men had passed away. Malcolm and Martin Luther King, they were dead before they became 40 years old, 38 and 39. So, full lives in such a short, lifespan. And with that being said, I just want to again, thank you, Mr. Muhammad Ali, for everything that you meant to this little boy who, in a time where he needed a positive male role model, for stepping up and being that role model, stepping up and being a man and showing, me that black was beautiful and black could be successful and black could be, professional and handsome and beautiful and, articulate and, what I'm saying, and be able to stand on principles and have values and at the same time, be flawed. So as Ozzie Davis said at Malcolm's funeral, we lost a great black prince. I would say, as it relates to Brother Muhammad Ali, we lost a great black knight. And so, again, thank you, for standing up, not only for, Americans here who had, principles that were dear and important to them, but also for being, an ambassador for the world, that they could see that, black men, could stand up and would stand up for their principles and walk away from wealth and money and all the other temptations that today men fall so easily for. This is a man who stood, and he stood for this little boy or that little boy. You got the little boy still in there somewhere. But every little black boy and every little black girl and every little white and Hispanic, Asian, East Indian black boy and black girl around the world. We love you. I know that, God knows who you are. And I suspect that for whatever your religious belief may have been, I know God will judge your heart. And I believe that heart will rest, in the resurrection or be risen in the resurrection. So you can continue, to influence and be the great, knight that you have been for the 74 years that you were on this planet. So thank you for everything that you've done for this country. Thank you for everything that you did for your family, everything you did for your God, everything you did for the state of Kentucky, the city of Louisville. And last but not least, thank you for everything that you did for this little black boy down in New Orleans that needed to see something positive. And you know what? You showed up. You didn't let him down. Now you have it. DFG, Gideonsflight. Goodbye.